The Quick Access toolbar is a toolbar up at the top in the upper left-hand corner where it has a list, of 3 commands currently, that you can add more commands to it. You can customize it so you can quickly access those commands in a single click, as opposed to the commands that are listed on the ribbon here on separate tabs. You can imagine if you have popular commands on the external data and then some on the home and some on the create, you have to bounce around to get those and then bounce around to the other one to get back to where you want to use the other popular commands. Just go ahead and add them up here on the Quick Access toolbar. And you can do it one of a couple of ways. You can either click on the Customize Quick Access Toolbar drop-down arrow, and it's got a list of some of the popular commands like open. Go ahead and select it. You get the open folder command, which is really nice because when you want to open a database, going backstage, there's 1 click, File. Going down to Open is 2 clicks, and then if it's recent, there's 3. But if it's not a recent database, then you'd have to click on the computer, and then go ahead and click Browse to get the open window here. You can see it says Open. Let's go ahead and close out, click on Back to go back to the front stage, whereas you just have the Open command right there. It opens up the open window. Cool. Let's go ahead and click Cancel. And then to add more commands, you can click on the drop-down arrow. And if you don't see it here in the list, you can go ahead and go to More Commands, which, by the way, if you add it, you see how it's been checked here. If I go ahead and select it again, it removes it or it unchecks it. Click on the drop-down arrow again. Let me go ahead and check it. So it's back up on the Quick Access toolbar again. Click on the drop-down arrow, and you can go to More Commands. And then you can see over here on the left-hand side that in the Access options, you get the Quick Access toolbar that's selected. Then you can come over here, and it's got a list of more popular commands than what you see in the drop-down when we clicked it to the right-hand side of the Quick Access toolbar. And if you don't see it here, then you can click on the drop-down arrow and look at all the commands. And it's sorted alphabetically. Well, first the numbers, and then the A's down to the B's, C's, all the way down to the Z's. And then when you find one, you can just go ahead and double click to add it over here, or you can go ahead and select it and click on Add. And then once you add it over onto the Quick Access toolbar or in this section before you click OK, you can actually move them around if you don't like the order of it, because right now it's going to be the Save command first, and then these 2 that I just added, and then Undo, Redo. If you don't want these new commands in between the Save and the Undo, go ahead and select one and click on the drop-down arrow. Of course, you can go back up. Let's go down. So it's after the Open and also the Add Database to Source Safe, which I have no idea what that command will do. In any case, you get the idea. You can customize and move your commands around and click Okie dokie, and there you go. The 2 new commands. Now, you notice how these commands are pretty close to one another. Like if you have the Delete Record command there and you're trying to open up the database, but you don't quite make it and you click just before it, so you delete a record. Uh-oh. Well, what you can do is you can actually add some spacers, or what are known as separators, in between your commands. And you can add your separators for one of 2 reasons. Either one, to go ahead and group your commands, like a separator between the Save and the Undo, and then at the end, the Save and the Redo button here, so you can keep your Undo and Redos together and saying that's a group. And then you can have, the separator there in your Copy and Paste and Cut commands, and then have another separator and say that's a group. Or like I said, you can actually have them to space in between your commands so they're not so close together that you accidentally click on one and delete a record or open up another database, which, you can quickly click Cancel. But the point being, go ahead and to customize the Quick Access toolbar, again, you can click on the drop-down arrow and go down to More Commands, or you can click on the File tab to go backstage to go to Options. And there it is, Quick Access toolbar. It remembers where I last left off. By default, it goes to the General, but then you can come back down here to the Quick Access toolbar, or let me click Cancel. You can simply right-click on the Quick Access toolbar and go down to Customize it, and it opens up the same window. So under Popular Commands, you don't have to go to All Commands because the Separator command, or the Separator feature, is a popular command. Go ahead and double-click on it, and you can double-click to add as many as you want. And if you added too many, go ahead and select one and remove it. And we can add the extra separation between the Save command and the Undo and click OK. And there you go, you get 2 lines. And like I said, you can also use them to group commands together. So you'd have a line here, and then maybe take this one and move it down after the Redo commands. So you've got this group of Undo and Redo together, separated from all the other commands, or at least visually speaking, with a little extra space. That way, at least with the 2 separators, I'd have to really go out of my way if I want to hit Undo to mistakenly hit the Save button. I'd really have to slip up on the mouse. And then to remove a command, just simply right-click on it and say Remove. Right-click, and we'll just quickly remove, the ones that aren't going to be helpful for me right at the moment here. and they're gone. Now, another way that you can add commands to the quick access toolbar, if you don't want to go through the right clicking to customize to be able to pull up the list of commands, if the command is already on the ribbon, you can simply right click on that command and add it to the quick access toolbar, and there you go. Or if you like the entire group, like the clipboard group, to be added to the quick access toolbar, just go ahead and find a blank area within that group and right click on it and say you want to add it. Now when you add it, it's going to find an icon in that group here to represent that group. So you can see the icon paste. It looks like it's the paste command, but it's not. It's actually the clipboard group, and you can see when you hover over it, that little pop-up says it's the clipboard group. When you click on it, it exposes the group. It's not the actual paste command. Again, it's just an icon representing that group. Access could have chosen the scissors to represent the group, but in any case, they chose the clipboard, and that's fine. And so those are other ways you can add your commands to the quick access toolbar. Let's go ahead and get rid of them. Right-click on them and remove them. And we're done.